Let's take you to KZN now, where Police Minister Bheki Cele is meeting with the Lamontville community to uncover the circumstances around the shooting of a 33-year-old woman. Let's take a listen in.
They're not going to stop because they raid, because there is information. For instance, here, the information was giving us 3 centers. One was stolen food, secondly, appliances, as I've said, and thirdly, is that there was a portion of stolen live ammunition. No ways then that police cannot come and investigate such a thing. It's unfortunate that there will be that resistance, where the call will make as soon as we discover what happened here is that police, even under those trying and testing conditions, they will remain calm, but then do the work. There's no ways that we can retreat when we are told that there are things like guns here, there are things like live ammunition. Our information is that this community has a lot of guns. Hence, there was an exchange of fire. Hence, we're investigating. Ballistic will tell us, the post-mortem will tell us what happened on that. Only then we'll come back and give the full information. You talk about Phoenix. People that have been arrested in Phoenix now, there are 31. Some of them, there were 22, and there are added people that will be coming to court. But altogether, there are 31, and we expect that number to grow. When it comes to the people that regarded as instigators, the figure there has remained at 12 of the people, but that does not end there, because there are many that have been identified, and police are identifying more people going forward. We believe that there will be people identified in high profile where police are after them.
All right, Minister, go ahead.
My name is Minister Bheki Cele. We said that a portion of arms, where could it be from? A portion of arms. Is it the one that's related to the container that was stolen from the hub?
Well, unfortunately, those ammunition was not found, but there is information that there are arms, and there is that house that has got those live ammunition. Unfortunately, police will still have to go to that house and find out if those bullets are there, because we can't allow bullets to go around there. And the information was that they were taken somewhere where they were ordered to go to that place. For now, we have the lost container of live ammunition from the port. We would suspect that any other extra found bullets would have been coming from there, but not only there. There are other things, and there are other sources. For instance, in Phoenix, that you raised, there are many firearms that were found, there are many bullets that were found that has been proved that are not part of the lost container, but nonetheless are the bullets.
Okay, on another issue that could be unrelated to the Lamontville, we know that now that it has been confirmed that Zuma, the former president of the country, Mr. Jacob Zuma, will be appearing in court in Pietermaritzburg in an open court. Have you received any reports and perhaps signed any intelligence report as to whether there could be some threats, security threats?
Well, the provincial commissioner is here.
He's behind you, Minister.
Provincial commissioner is here. Those preparations are made by the police, led by provincial commissioner. Surely he can answer that question, how prepared he is, but I suspect strongly he is very prepared.
Okay, another issue is about the mandate and also the jurisdiction of the army that has been deployed across the country, especially at the national key points. For example, at SAPC, what's the mandate? Are they allowed to enter into the newsrooms?
Well, I don't know if they're allowed to enter the newsroom. I know SAPC is one of the key points. Depending what information they will give us, I don't have that information that they've entered the newsroom. If they did, I'll have to find out, because the police, the soldiers, as they operate in these particular places, they operate under the guidance of the police. Maybe the police can report to me why they would come to the newsroom, if indeed they did.
Minister, there's one more question from Ian, also not related to Lamontville. Go ahead.
Minister, I'm also interested to hear about the preparations for Mr. Zuma's trial, so I guess we'll get that response from the Provincial Commissioner. But before we get there, can you give us some clarity on the situation at Jessie Duarte's house? I mean, is she being guarded by, or is her home being guarded by the SAPS?
Well, I've answered that question time and again. And it's such a pity that when you raise questions, some of you regard as almighty. That cannot be answered. You see, I was very disappointed when I saw the editorial of one paper this morning. I spoke to their reporter who has raised the matter with me. Never threatened him. I don't threaten, but I raised the issue to say, my problem with the issue of Jessie Duarte looks like some journalists are taking sides on it. For instance, why would a journalist ask the question that says Jessie is giving the police because the Minister of Police is trying to woo Jessie to join the CR7? That is politics from the journalists. When you try to explain that, we are taken to task to say you are threatening the journalists. There is no member of the South African Police Service that is guarding either Jessie or his or her house.
I think that's quite clear, Minister. There is one question. From East Coast Radio. What I'd like to know, Minister, in regards to the raids here in Lamontville, were you able to get any of the intended things that you wanted to get, like the weapons and other related goods that you got information from?
Yes, there were raids. There were things that were taken. Unfortunately, as a shout, that rice and all. But the crux of the matter was the stolen food and stolen items that were found. But the crux of the matter is that there is information. I raised the issue to say, as they raise the issue about the police, there is issues about the community, and police are not going to let that lie. If we need to come and find whatever kind of criminality, no matter where it is, we'll do that. The only thing that we'll call and do as the police, we do that with a serious restraint and make sure that there is no life lost, and there is no party that gets injured in both sides. But to do the work, we'll continue to do the work.
All right, Minister. I think, there's just one more question.
Panele Mtongo from SABC News. Minister, we've seen during the unrest, we've seen a number of firearms being carried out in public, especially in areas that have not been targeted during the raids, like your Durban North, your Toti. When are we going to see the police going to those areas to check if those firearms that were carried out in public are indeed legal?
Well, that investigation is continuing. Today, I did receive the information to say, I think at one place the Metro Police was assaulted, and one was also attacked, and those investigations are going on. Indeed, because private guns, they have the way of behaving on it. We can't just display it all around. And police, I'm sure the concentration is in Phoenix because many lives were lost there. I'm sure that investigation will expand. The team that is investigating has been itself expanded. That team had 31 investigators. 6 more have been added on that team. But not only that, it's got 3 dedicated prosecutors that is working with the team going forward. And the team is expanded, will be working in Durban. No stone that will be left unturned. It doesn't matter where you broke the law.
Minister, that's it for you. National Police Commissioner. Minister, which part, my sister? All right.
Indawo eziningi sibonile abantu behamba nezibhamu nje bekhululekile ngesikhathi kune-unrest kodwa not nabo toti sobona nini kuyiwa kuyoreyidwa kulezo zindawo ukubheka ukuthi ngabe lezo zibhamu semthethweni.
Sizolungisa indaba yobudlelwane phakathi komphakathi namaphoyisa eLamont ngesikhathi amaphoyisa engene endlini egqoqa khona kufunayo kwavela isimo sokuthi kube khona umuntu olahlekelwa impilo ngebhadi umuntu wesifazane osemncane no 33 years. Ekwenzeke kanjalo kwafunakala ukuthi sikwazi ukuthola uphenywe ngoba kunenkombankombane ukuthi kwadutshulwana kule ndawo, kunomphakathi owadubula, kunamaphoyisa adubula. Kuzosiza ke ukuthi ukufika kwe-IPD iphenye ukutholakala kwe-postmortem masekhlizwe isidumbu ukuthi kutholakaleni ibhamu zamaphoyisa seyibhalile i-statement zihanjiswe lezo statement ukuthi zisize amaphoyisa ukuthi kutholakalani. Le yeyibhamu oyibuzayo zonke ibhamu ezasetshenziswa ngendlela engekho emthethweni nezaziphuma kungafanele ziphethwe ngendlela kuzolandelwa lokho. Into mhlawumbe eyenza ukuthi njengamanje kugcizelelwe kakhulu ePhoenix ngoba kwalahleka imiphefumulo ePhoenix, imiphefumulo eminingi. Thimba lakhona singezile abantu asebeboshiwe manje bawu31. Ithimba lamaphoyisa kungezwe abaseshi lisebenzisana nabaphenyi. Kwenye ke indawo zaseThekwini ila khona kwahlukunyezwa khona amaphoyisa kamasipala liyaphenya lolo daba. Nabo bonke nje abantu abasebenzisa ibhamu ngendlela engeyona noma abamnyama noma abamhlophe kuzoqhubeka ukuthi sisajahe la ekulahleke khona imiphefumulo kodwa wonke umuntu ophula umthetho webhamu uzophenya.
Thank you very much, Minister. PC, would you just elaborate on ENCA's question?
PC, thanks for joining us. As you may have heard, we were talking about the arrangements and preparedness for the upcoming trial of Mr. Zuma this week. And if you could just talk to us about some of your plans in place.
No, thanks, sir. We are still busy with the operation, which is an operation that will launch as a result of the riots. So at this present moment, we are still very much active on that. So we're not going to slow down on that. The issue of the case, it happens during the period while we are busy with another operation. So the arrangement of the court is normal. I'm sure you're all aware. It's a common thing that every time the former president goes to court, there's a number of people that always wants to go to court and support him. So we've developed a different plan for that and for us to be able to secure that specific, and we're comfortable with the plan. Yes, we did have some intelligence briefing on it, which includes the state of the riots that we currently had in the province. So we are deploying in line with that.
Is there any cause for concern in terms of, you said you did receive some reports, is there anything that is concerning you as the police, as we've seen previously, where the unrest broke out seemingly just out of the blue? Is there anything that you're worried about in this coming week?
No, there's always a concern for if the community is going to be influenced by some politicians who want to push their political interests, and they mobilize communities to go and gather and cause disruption, be it road blockages, be it coming to violate the COVID-19 regulation in terms of the numbers that are going to gather. And by and large, you realize that many people that could have given the support to the former president while sitting at home. So to come out and expose yourself to COVID-19 and the likes, and it really doesn't help on that. So I just want to urge the communities not to be influenced easily like that. Today, we are here because there's a death of a person. This would not have happened if there was no looting. We would not have been here today. So it's things like this that we want to encourage the communities that please don't be influenced. Don't be influenced wrongly. Let politicians deal with their own political things, and we can deal with them in terms of breaking the law if they do break the law. For those that are complying with the law, we'll obviously allow them to gather in line with what the regulation says they must gather.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, General. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Hi.
sitholileke abantu be-intelligence basitelile ukuthi kumele silindele ukuthi ngaze kube neqembu labantu ezofika zohlonza zomxhasa. Siyenzileke iplani yethu ukuthi sideploye ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sivikele umphakathi kanye nendawo zabo lapho besebenzela khona la behlala.
Thank you, colleagues. Right? Perfect.
That's right.
Thanks.